Welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. We are doing this area, including, let's just start right here. Okay, mingle shape. Neighboring regions must have different shapes. Rose windows. Each region contains exactly one of each symbol. Split it there. Split it there. The two shapes must be different, which means... Ooh. Hmm. How do I make the two shapes different? If I were to just take that would be the same shape. Because rotations and reflections count as the same thing. So there's this one and that one. This has to... Is there any way that this one could come over here and grab that and get one of these? No. If it did that, then the other shape would not be able to complete. What if it came... No. It can't block this. This one cannot block this. Yeah, if I did that... They are still the same shape. And those are still the same shape. So somehow this needs to, let's see, that would, like that. That works. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Draw that a little more neatly. No, those are still the same shape. Those are still the same. I need to clear. There we go. What if Those are different. Are they valid? Yes, that's valid. Okay. Also, they're not. Yes, they are. Okay, that is good. What? Oh, that but no. It's been a few days. I've forgotten all the controls. Okay. Let's call that one a warm up. Shape bank, ones and twos. Mingle shape. That's a one. This has to be a two. There. Now that's a one. This is a two. That's a one and that's a one. Now this has to be a two. But I don't know where it needs to go. Ooh. Because this could be a one. Two. If that's a two. Yeah, that can't be a two. If this is a two, then I would need a one here and a one here. Therefore, that's a two. So that and that are ones. This is a two. Because this is a two. And there's a one and that to finish it off. Shape bank. All regions are L triominoes or singles. And mingle shape. Ooh. Okay, this right here. Well, no, never mind that. Let's start out with that one, because that can't be part of an L. Now, this has to be part of an L, and that has to be part of an L. They could take those. They have to end at those. They're gonna go either up or down from there. And this has to be a single on either side. Now those singles have to have that next to them. This one could go that way. Well, it could go here or here, but it must go here. Now, if this L took that, both of these would need to be singles and mingle shape would be violated. So it doesn't take that. Also, this is part of an L, so this L can't come to here, it must do that, making that a single. Now this must be part of an L, but it, ooh. This is invalid. This has to do that. That's the only way that can work. Like that. Okay. Now that is part of an L. And this is also part of an L, so they're the same L. Then there's these two. And then there's that one. That one. That must be a single. And that must be a single. Ah, and it finished. Sure, let's come up this path. 3s and 5s, lots of L. This right here cannot be part of the larger one. So it must be the smaller one. And there. We have mingle shape, so this is larger and has to do that. This is smaller and must do that. That one is smaller. Ooh, now this one must be larger. And it can't touch that. And here's another little one. Here I need large, and it can't go there. So it does this. Now this one's small. This one must be large. And there we can see the two small ones. Shape bank, T's and dots. And mingle shape. But this is entirely... The only way this is going to work is that since the grid is entirely symmetrical, the pattern in the grid is going to be symmetrical. So if there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here, then there would be that, that, and we can see it's not working because of this. That cannot be a dot next to the other dots. So it could do that. That is more likely. Because that leaves all of the dots isolated. Yeah. Okay, there you go. We'll just do this. Give me a different color. Close enough. Close enough to different. If I do this, is that one gonna be... Well, no, it's probably... Oh, wait. I only need one more to unlock. So yeah, if I do this, that one should open for me. shape bank, dominoes and L's. Well, we know that goes like that. Okay. If I made an L like that, this would be a domino because it couldn't be an L, and this couldn't be anything. Therefore, this one has to do that. Now there's a domino here and here. This has to be that. Now there's, ooh. But that's broken over here. Wait a minute. Oh, this here. I didn't even notice that this isn't an open space. That's part of the puzzle. There's a piece in there. Okay. Everything around this needs to be, yeah, that needs to be part of an L because it's touching this. That needs to be part of an L because it's touching this. They can't be different L's. They are the same L, which means they got to do that. That and that must be the same L. And the only way to do that is there. Now that and that must also be L's. This, however, can't be an L. And this can't be an L. That now could not be an L. There. So we get an L here and an L here. Now that has to be a domino because it's touching two L's. And this is a domino for the same reason. There's an L here. There's an L here. And that finishes it. Ready to mingle. Restore the mingle shape window. It didn't open that one. Huh. Okay. Well, it hasn't unlocked. Oh, it has unlocked some up here. Okay. Just not all of them. But we're going to stay here with the mingle shapes. Okay. Mingle shape polyomino. This is part of a triomino. It can't take that one. So it goes there, and now to make that shape, it's got to do that. This one has to come out here. It could take this. If it did, again, if it were to take that, we have polyominoes, but we don't have a shape bank. So this could be something other than that. So this could do that, or it could do that. And I don't know yet. We do have mingle shape, though. This one can't come down here because mingle shape would stop them touching. That can't touch that. So this must go up because it can't take that one. And now it's got to turn here. There's no way that this shape can fill here. That one, in order to be its tetromino L, has to come up here and do that. That makes that shape. Now this one can't touch that space. It's got to do that, which means that happens. This could be a single. Or it could be just a domino. This one can't go in there. That one can't go in there. Also, this shape cannot take that or that. You cannot go there because you would be touching. So that's what happens. This one comes out here. Don't know which way it goes, but it doesn't go any farther than that. This one can't go here, touch that, or here, touch that. So it comes out here and stops at that, but goes to the left, to up or down. This and that do not touch. If this one were to do that, this one would have to do that. However, this one could do that, and then this one could do that. The one thing I can say is this doesn't come out here or there. So this one does that. And that means this one does that, which means this one does that. Now to draw this shape in, it's gonna have to do that, which puts these in. Then that. This could be alone, or it could be 3. Or 2. Well, no, not 2. This can either take those 2 or these 2. Oh, there's this. This one does something. This one can't touch that one. So this one can't come up here. This one can't come up here. This one must do that instead. That does that. Now this one can't go here because it would be touching that. So it does this. We can put a domino here because if it was two singles, then they would be touching each other. Now this one, it can't go down to here, so it's not that. It must then do this. It's got to do that. Like that, and that finishes it. We can do, let's see. Okay, let's just grab one. Mingle shape. Mingle shape is the only rule. This cannot be a 2 and 2 1s. And it can't be a 4, therefore it's a 3 and a 1. And this is the same. And this 3 can't touch that 3, so it can't go here. It's got to do that. And this 3 can't touch that 3, so it's got to come over here for that. Now this is the same thing again, and it can't touch this one, so it's that way. And a 2x2 finishes it off. Let's do this one. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have picked this one. Mingle shape and polyomino. But it doesn't have the shape bank. Aha. And these can be the same, inside the same shape. We see that in the example here. So, while these need to be inside their shape, their F pentomino, everything else is free to do whatever it wants as long as it doesn't do the same as anything that was very sloppy, as anything right next to it. That does work. Just like that. I drew it really poorly, but that works. And I didn't draw that line. Okay, here we go. F, 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 F. And that one. Okay, I will pick it up here in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.